Hi and welcome to episode 20 of my Witcher 3 playthrough. In the previous episode we started off by helping Hattori negotiate with the King of Beggars for blacksmithing supplies. We begrudgingly agreed a deal of 35%. Just as we finished the negotiation we had to escape an ambush by Cleaver's men. Now with the potential of Cleaver's men causing issues for Hattori, we had to then organise some protection for him. We enlisted the help of Sucrus of Skellige, although in return we had to help him obtain a debt owed by his brother-in-law. Another issue then arose. Hattori didn't have any of the specialty items he required to make the sword for us. Ernst van Horn had purchased these items cheap from sword makers abandoning their trade. Now they are hoarded in his warehouse on the docks. We got into the warehouse and marked the crates with the supplies for Sucrus. On the way out we were approached by Ernst van Horn himself. We roughed him and his men up a bit and Sucrus was organised for him to be relocated to Skellige. Sucrus and his brother-in-law also reconciled their differences. With Ernst van Horn out of the way, Cleaver had lost interest in the blacksmithing trade and Hattori was now free to continue his work. We were to wait a few days for the sword to be finished. We then investigated the contract Deadly Delights. We went to the crime scene and was able to track the murderer to Crippled Kate's, a local brothel. After speaking with the madame, we were able to find out that the succubus had taken a position in the establishment. Even with the death of some of the customers, the brothel's takings had increased. The succubus was provided lodgings in a house nearby. We confronted the succubus and told them it's in their best interest to leave Novigrad. They provided us with an item so that we could collect the reward. The next thing was to speak with Triss about the figurine we'd found. It had an artifact impression, meaning that someone had gotten themselves enchanted into the figurine. We went to a more secluded location where Triss was able to free an Oxenfurt nobleman. Coral had enchanted the nobleman. He provided us with a reward for freeing him and went on with his business. We then continued to follow the leads to find Dandelion. We spoke with Marabella, a teacher in the local school. Marabella mentioned he was especially interested in mould at the time. The next port of call was to speak with Molly, a servant in the service of Mary Louise La Bellette. As we arrived, Mary was on her way out with Voorhis of Vizima, someone we had met in Vizima during our meeting with the Emperor. She invited us to the races at the Vagelbud estate. There we could speak with Molly, who was currently at the home of her friend Patricia Vagelbud. Once there we were challenged to a race with Voorhis, which we won. We were then able to speak with Molly. Last time Molly had seen Dandelion, he asked for some money to take her on a romantic cruise. However, he never showed. We then returned to Novigrad with Mary and Voorhis. The last person on our list was Rosa van Atra. We had heard her father was hiring swordplay instructors and used this information to speak with her. We found out that Rosa had a twin Edna. Edna had sent Dandelion some love letters with Rosa's name as a sort of game. Dandelion had taken the girls to the local graveyard where he quizzed them about Margrave Henkel, someone who had passed away recently. We then went back to the Rosemary in time to consult with Zoltan. After comparing notes, Zoltan said that the woman Dandelion had been seen with must have been Priscilla, someone who is a mirror image of Dandelion himself and someone who Dandelion was besotted with. We were to meet with Zoltan at the Kingfisher Inn. So let's go.
Master.
Okay. Tori got any funds on
Greetings, Ibeer.
Greetings, Geralt. How might I...
Listen,
Okay, we can go to the shop. 198. We've sold most of it to him. 326. He's giving us a really good price now.
so long.
Okay. Are we close to our stash? Yep.
Go.
Okay, which way can we go? Yep, go this way.
Well, or never.
Sick of it all.
Greetings.
My strength's gone. Oh, I've had enough of living.
Okay, let's put our blade away. Don't need that. We'd probably put our pen in there as well. That's good. And we need to drop some of these items. Oh, that's the stamina we want. It's the saddle, I should say.
Nothing hurts as much as life.
Okay, let's drop this stuff that we can't seem to get rid of, can't sell it. We'll keep that. We will drop that. We'll drop that. Drop that. Bow bolts. Split bolts. And we'll keep those. Bolts with bait. Okay, what should we do next? We can meet Zoltan at the Kingfisher. Let's see if we can win this card.
Go, go.
What village are you from?
Will I? Listen to me.
Lately. Power of the eternal fire. So, how do you go with this?
Do you want to be my boy? Can I become a witcher?
Spare a couple or two. Eternal fire protects us. Gives monsters the shits.
Oh, I'm so annoyed.
Oh,
I need a belt set with silver studs. I'll have it for next week. Also, contribute coin to the cause. His sins shall be forgiven. Youth these days.
What
Hair-brained,
grace,
all
what
of them.
style. I am not a racist. Human, elf, dwarf, it matters
I
not.
wonder how much she's paid for
provided he's
contorting
well.
so awkwardly.
More than we pay our staff, that's certain.
White Wolf, welcome to the Passiflora. Oh, no sign of recognition in your eyes.
Greetings,
Don't fret. I'm sure I look quite different from when we last saw each other.
which was...
Oh, eons ago. You and Master Dandelion appeared, two halflings in tow. What a smash they were, the little chaps. We recount that night to this day.
So the, staff hasn't changed since then?
Oh, of course it has. It does so incessantly in this business. Burly Berthy married a merchant, Ella struck out on her own, and you'll likely find Cerise praying at the temple. I alone remain. So, shall I summon the girls? Just remember, this is a decent establishment. Pause to yourself to start with. And our girls are well-mannered. The range of subjects they discuss in detail, I myself find it daunting.
See what she's got to say.
Actually, I'd just like to buy something.
Oh, she's got some cards. Northern Realms. I've already got these cards. Don't think. Might as well sell that. We don't need that. What else should she take? She takes some rubbish. Uh, 50 vitality regeneration. We can sell that food. $80 fried fish. Okay. Game of cards.
I'm curious. You play Gwent?
Certainly. Though for high stakes exclusively, of course. In fact, the game would be exceedingly boring without the risk.
Up for a round?
Why, yes. Let's play.
Okay. What did we get? Nothing special. Let's just play this deck. How many spies do we have? It's probably decent. Still a decent deck, even without too many spies, but we'll go with this one anyway. One decoy is good. We got a spy, so that's good. Got a medic, that's good. Scorch is good. Let's swap out the blue stripes. Got a trebuchet. Let's try one more. Okay, we're going first, so we'll place a spy. She should definitely have a decoy for this. Yeah. And we'll put Roach up first. Okay, Voorhis. Put a siege unit down. Scorch, that's interesting. Straight away use a Scorch. Should I use Scorch as well? Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna definitely use Scorch now. Interesting. So rewind, we should get another card. Surprised she hasn't played the spy yet. Good. That wasn't too difficult.
I fail to understand how I lost that. Oh, I believe this card belongs to you now.
Know any other players willing to stake rare cards?
In Novigrad, Siggy Reuven's collection is famous. You really should challenge him.
Siggy Reuven. Oh, we got Morvran. Guardian Empire. Okay, so Siege, that's good. 2 of those, Maya's good. Get rid of him. Put Morvran in.
Does. My eye. I wonder how much she's paid.
The city swarming with
More than
balloons.
we pay our staff.
Okay. Oh, we got we got something else. Really or no? Or are these just people? Mistakes. Okay, so where should we go next? Noticeboard, cat school. Social Lord's Castle, Scavenger Gear. let's go down here. Actually, we'll go over here first. It's the abandoned manor. Where is a marker? I thought there was one down here.
Black ones, Redanians. As long as they pay.
Lake
I'm
of
going
Suck
to.
again.
Let's find out what that portal does. We need to refresh our potions. Oh. Portal. That was pretty easy.
Reeks in here.
Wow.
That stench. Ripe cheese. Seems Aeramas was a tyromancer.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so we can't get rid of those. A little cheese things. Okay.
What did he make this cheese out of? Necker milk? Need to be careful. Trial of the cheeses. Vesemir will get a kick out of this when I tell him. Not sure this can get any worse.
Okay, so there's a passageway to the left. chest. I'll go this way then. The chest. Key ones. Dive is C. For some reason I can't dive. So I can't get over here. Aha.
Gotta share this discovery with Lambert. Foglets are immune to the smell of old cheese.
Uh-oh. Bull figurine. Aeramas' notes. The vision stabilized, and lo and behold, I saw as if through a moonlit haze the four princes, each clad in armor and astride a horse. The first rode a steed the color of fog, the second of sulphur, the third black as the abyss, and the fourth a pony. And then I beheld a fountain, a clear spring, but the princess did not drink of it, for it was forbidden. And then a bird of paradise, shining in ruby and gold, flew above them and alit upon the branch of a tree, and the tree had arms numbering 1,040. Draw from the source, said the bird, but they pointed to the sun's bloody tears and did not draw. And then a pure virgin appeared, with bared breast, exposing her modest bosom, ruddy and firm like ripe linden berries. What? Then my nose became accustomed to the aroma, and their vision passed. Tomorrow I shall try to unseal that well-aged sample from Geno my Vort. It is said to have been refined, deep scent, with slightly nutty aftertaste. Well, we shall see. I've also got these other maps, haven't we? Edwin Grell's fourth map. The writing on the map is smeared with dried blood. Cannot read. Addendum. Map ain't worth anything. Only thing I found was some griffin symbols scratched on the walls. Can see we're not going to get anything worth near enough to pay back the debts that the dandy doctor racked up with us. Good thing he's warm food now, but maybe it would be worthwhile to look at that tomb under Crookback Hills. I doubt our doctor friend would have wasted his time just running around looking for primitive drawings. There's got to be some treasure about. Worn out notes and faded notes by Aeramas on the Witcher Elgar. Elgar hid improvements for the Witcher school gear in various corners of the world so the witches could make use of them on the path. Some he hid in elven ruins and a sunken ship in the south of Balin. Others he put in a hideout far to the south of Oxenfurt. Change Your Life, a handbook. And so I, Jacob the Rebel, once well known as a libertine and brawler extraordinaire from Nazir, with its myriad taverns to the wilds of Zerrikania, used what strength I had left to put my craft ashore. The raft I had strapped together out of an old boat, bits of strap and a burst barrel, had taken on so much water that 2 ells more, and I have sunk to the bottom. Instead, I stood on dry land, and that was all that mattered. With not a living soul in sight, my stomach growling something mighty, I began to explore. The isle was bereft of game, but offered fruit in great abundance. I ate so heartily the juice nearly poured out of my ears, and then I began to gather wood with which to build my shelter for the night and fuel the fire that would warm me. It was then I came upon the strange plant that would change my life till the end of my days. Ignorant of its value at the time, I frivolously used it for kindling. Yet, as soon as it began to smoulder and its sweet scent filled my nostrils, I felt light, and the coastal breeze whisked all my troubles away. I devoted the subsequent years of my life to researching this miraculous weed and its properties. As a result, I was able to develop a method that is likely to transform the life of any who puts it into practice. Here is how to begin. Okay. The well-preserved notes by Aeramas on the Witcher Elgar. For safekeeping, Elgar hid his improvements to the School of the Wolf's equipment in multiple locations. One set he hid in an underwater cave beneath a castle in central Vallon. Another he left in a cave to the south of Oxenfurt, while a third he placed in the elven ruins found on a small isle in southern Vallon. And we have the contract. Okay. What else do we have? We got an illusion here. Doesn't seem to be anything else here.
Someone placed an illusion here.
Hello. Hunting trousers, alcohol. Pants, racing saddle. Nothing really special there. Another portal.
Some kind of vault. I should look around.
There's a shield. Another illusion.
Something here. Where's that artifact Kira gave me?
Igni.
Deactivated the magic barrier, still active. Gotta find a way to turn it off.
It seems to be turned off. Snake figurine. 52 crowns.
If this sword is as deadly as Aeramas' cheeses, it's worth taking. Maybe I'll name it the Emmentaler.
The Emmentaler. this? Another portal. Ah, right back up top.
Fresh air, finally.
Emmentaler. Fire damage, igni sign intensity. Okay. Let's check out these while we're here.
Slower.
So we got to go ahead, take the pathway down to the left.
Come on.
And to the left again.
Whoa there, Roach.
Person in distress. Lost his head. Bandit's notes. They say you can't catch an elf in the woods. Oh, you can in fact. You just gotta try real hard. We've got living proof in our camp, a Skotail archer. I thought we'd eliminate all those vermin after the last Nilfgaardian war, but it seems we missed some. I'd rather hang the long ears right off. Well, maybe after a couple of days torture, but still hanging's what he needs. Thing is, Sula says as long as we have him alive and in our camp, the other squirrels won't attack us. Out of fear, we'll kill him before they can stop us. I listened to his advice, and so far I don't regret it. Used to be an arrow to come flying towards your ass every 2 steps. Now it's quiet, dead quiet. That elf stays calm, doesn't eat much, and when you get some vodka in him, he even sings in that language of theirs. Pretty good too, or something like that. Must be about flowers, sunshine. They love all that stuff. The world underground. We hunkered down for the night in the cave, so enormous the light from our torches faded into the murky black, without revealing any upper bound to it. For most of the night, all we could hear was the rushing of water somewhere behind the wall of the cave. Yet, after some time, it is hard to say how much, for we had lost all sense of where day ended and night began. We heard a sort of scraping noise, and then the sound of boulders shifting. The scraping turned to a roar, but by but by the time we were already on our feet and running towards the tunnel through which we had entered the cave, we did so none too soon, for the shifting had opened up a new passage in the cavern, which began to spew out hordes of small misshapen humanoids. Without breaking stride, I looked over my shoulder, and in the midst of the mass of midgets I spied the outline of a large black troll. Thus began our run for our lives. Kovia and Voorhis. Kovia and Voorhis are without a doubt the richest realms in the north. Few today remember that this was not always the case, yet their poverty was once literally on everyone's lips, in the form of now antiquated common sayings. As recently as in the days of Herbert the Quarrelsome, one spoke of a particular impoverished person as being poorer than a mouse from Voorhis, called bone broth, Koviri delight, and referred to beggars as Paraxides, after the bay along the shores of which the kingdoms lie. Similarly, few remember that a mere handful of generations ago, Kovia and Voorhis were still a part of Redania. King Radovid I, known as Radovid the Great, handed dominion over them to his hated brother, Troidan, with one stipulation, that he never leave his newly acquired demesnes and not interfere in matters of state. Handing over this rocky scrap of far northern ground, where the saying went, the year had 2 seasons, August and winter, was naturally meant as a cruel joke, a slap in the face for the overambitious Troidan. Yet, time soon proved that Radovid the Great had made a grave error. Before long it was discovered that the Kovia's bare rocks hid priceless treasures in the form of enormous deposits of precious metals and rock salt. This discovery in turn led to tremendous growth in productive industry. Mills, forges and workshops sprouted up like mushrooms after the heavy rain. Radovid III decided to correct his famous forebear's mistake and take back the northern frontiers of his kingdom. He was convinced that the combined armies of Redania and its then ally, Cadwin, would quickly bring this ever more audacious vassal in line. History took a different turn, however, and Kovia won a resounding, crushing victory. Radovid III was forced to sign the first treaty of land Exeter, granting Kovia independence while binding it to eternal neutrality, a promise Troidan's successors have kept with great diligence. Until recently, Kovia was ruled by Esterad Thyson, a king as wise as he was greedy. Yet his untimely demise did not stop his lands from continuing to develop and blossom. Koviri metallurgists proudly compete with the best Mahakaman can offer, and many believe the University of Land Exeter long ago surpasses the famous Oxenford Academy as the leading seat of higher learning in the north. And so it has become to pass, over the course of a few generations, the inhabitants of Kovia and Voorhis have turned from paupers into princes, from beggars into bankers. Okay. Beware, yep, we've read that one. Yep, we've read that one. And Fellow Fails the Fame. Ravaged death in most peaceful manner. An investigation has been launched to look into the matter, so the perpetrator shall soon feel the iron grip of justice closing around his throat. Anyone able to help the garrison track down and punish this murderer or murderers, as the case may be, is asked to report to the nearest guard post at once. A reward is foreseen. It is likewise hereby announced that any man aiding or abetting these bandits, or withholding evidence regarding these crimes, shall be punished by torture, imprisonment, or even death. Sergeant Gilbert Witchkey. I thought we'd already read that one. Ice Trolls. Okay.
If you even think to help elves in these times, I'd be amiss not to reward you for it. Find me in the camp nearby. I shall have something for you.
Find me in the camp nearby. Let's follow him. Which direction is he going in? Going in south. Ah, here we are.
Had to be sooner or later. Bloody weather.
Scrotal note. Dwan have captured Serban. They keep him on a leash like a dog. 2 bandits guard him constantly, so I cannot attack, or else they might hurt him, and have no intention of negotiating with the Dwan. But Serban has a good head on his shoulders. The Dwan force him to drink alcohol, make him sing. He then insults them or calls out to us in Elder speech. His voice carries over the swamp, so we can hear every word. We know these humans' routine. We know that when they change watches, or weapons they have. I take note of it all. When I know enough, I shall strike, quickly, when they are not expecting, and when it will hurt the most. There's all those extra books. Keep appearing. The ways and manners of Skellige folk. One's attention immediately is drawn to the fact that their seemingly impoverished huts shine with cleanliness. The walls of their homes are usually made with pine and covered with the substance derived from sap, which keeps out all manner of vermin. I believe it scares off insects as well, for I did not see a single indoors during my entire stay in Skellige. The interiors of their huts are quite spacious and usually divided into 2 rooms. The first is used by the members of the household during the day and is separated by a doorway from the second, which acts as a bedroom and contains only simple wooden beds covered with linens that resemble sacks more than continental bedding. In the middle of each main chamber stands a large round table around which the members of the household gather to eat once per day. This usually happens just after dusk, the time for their main meal. This supper is a hallowed event and is carried out in nearly ritualistic manner. At its start, before the family members have even taken their seats around the table, the eldest of the family tears off a piece of bread and places it on something on the household altar, which occupies a place of honour in each Skellige home. This serves as a symbol of respect for deceased ancestors. At the end of the ceremony for the departed, the entire family sits down to eat. The eldest woman places a steaming bowl in the middle of the table. Everyone has their own spoon, with which they dip one by one into the basin of food. They most often eat porridge, over which they pour gravy made from meat or fish. Curiously, immediately upon the supper's conclusion, the eldest takes the piece of bread set aside at the start of the meal and places it in a large amphora. As I later learned, when an amphora becomes full, it is filled with boiling water and a beverage is brewed, which in taste somewhat resembles beer, though it is much weaker. Okay. A few remarks on basilisks and cockatrices. Why you got such big eyes, Grandmum? Asked the little girl with worry. Shriek, shriek, replied the basilisk. Grandmum, why do you say shriek, shriek? Asked the little girl with surprise. The basilisk didn't reply, but instead clamped its toothy venomous maw over the curious little girl and swallowed her up. Luckily, a witcher by the name of Eskel was wandering these lands in search of Azul. The witcher was experienced and so knew basilisks only turn people to stone in fairy tales. He also knew it is best to avoid their venom. Eskel noticed that the monster had recently eaten, and before anyone could say, "Ready, steady, go," he threw himself at the beast and cut it open with a silver sword. The basilisk's stomach opened up, and the witcher saw the half-digested, foolish little girl inside. My manifesto, the life of Jacques the Oldersberg. The reason for choosing Jacques the Oldersberg as Grand Master remained a mystery. The Order of the White Rose had gone through a crisis in those times and was on the verge of collapse, so one might guess that the Brethren wished to have someone decisive as their leaders, someone with a clear vision. De Oldersberg was precisely such a man. One of his first decisions was to change the Brotherhood's name to the Order of the Flaming Rose. The most puzzling aspect, however, is that the Order and the King himself decided to trust a man who, for all intents and purposes, had appeared out of nowhere. They say he was a wanderer, an itinerant priest who moved crowds with his speeches declaiming non-humans. They say he worked miracles and showed his flock visions of the world destroyed by the White Frost. He was undoubtedly a man of great charisma, one instilled with unshakable principles, which he in turn tried to instill in others. Was he truly a source? Was he indeed gifted with raw magic talent? That we will never know for certain. The treatment of fernuncles through cauterization a study. Everyone seems seen a boil, usually more than they'd care to. These deformities don't just mar your beauty, they can be signs of disease or even the disease's cause and epicenter. If your lungs wheeze and your heart flutters, and if you're just sick of pustules, you can carve them off and be free of this ill for good. When you go to carve off a boil, use a sharp knife with which you've had a dog lick thoroughly beforehand, for a dog's tongue works wonders in healing wounds. You've got to be brave as you go about it, slicing as confidently and steadily as carving off a hunk of cheese. Then quickly cauterize the resultant wound using a red-hot poker. Don't pay any mind to screams or tears, pus, bile, or any other humours needed to be gathered in the basin, then dumped in a pit, and the pit covered, else the illness might return. The Merry Adventures of Muriel the Lovely Harlot, Illustrated Edition. On one occasion, Muriel went on a journey to see her auntie in Maribor, accompanied by her nursemaid. Their path took them through the forest, and in the forest lived a raucous troop of bandits. The infamous group was led by Flynn Selms, and all the king's men had been unable to bring them to justice. Alas, such was Muriel's great misfortune that these bandits chose to attack her carriage. Muriel's nursemaid was old, blind and deaf. She did not wake when a tree fell in front of their carriage with a loud thud, nor when the bandits fought a fierce battle against the guardsmen. When Flynn ripped open the carriage door with his muscular arms and stepped inside, Muriel had to deal with the danger herself. "Make our guest comfortable, young lady," the old nursemaid muttered in her sleep. Muriel obediently carried out her instructions. Wondrous world of insectoids. One is hard-pressed to think of a creature more hard-working and better organised than the Endrega. Ants, bees, termites are no match for them in this regard. Endregas best even humans when it comes to foresightedness and industry. In fact, the human race could benefit a great deal from following their example, resigning from the primitive and obsolete social structures of feudalism and adopting instead a form of arachno-communism. In arachno-communism, every individual has a specific place and performs a specific labour for the common good. These roles are as follows: worker, soldier and queen. Even comrade tributes to the necessary daily toil according to the special abilities, and takes from the common fund of wealth according to his special needs. The Wild Hunt. A frail ribbon flickers across the sky, the rider's spectral silhouettes barely discernible within it. Then the cavalcade contorts closer and closer, revealing more and more of their ghostly form. Now the buffalo horns atop their helms penetrate one's view. Now the crest betwixt them, and now the skull-like face exposed beneath their visitors. The riders sit astride skeletal mounts, bits of barding stuck to their sides like boils. A furious gale howls through the willows. Their blades now glisten like unfailing stars in the black sky. The world howls louder and louder. No, that is no wind. That is ghoul song. Suddenly the nightmarish cavalcade twists once more, the hooves of its ghostly mounts churning the light of will-o'-wisps hanging above the bog. At the end of the cavalcade rides the king of the hunt. A rust-eaten bassinet sways above the skull-like mask. Gasping eyes sockets burn with a pale burnt blue fire. Around him whirls a tattered cloak. A necklace rattles atop his rust-covered breastplate. Holes are empty as the abyss stare out from it. Once they were filled with precious stones, but these fell out during his race across the skies and became stars. The king of the hunt laughs, his teeth rotten as the grave, snapping above the rusted collar of his breastplate. The blue flames in the sockets of his skeletal mask roar.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and we've got this guy to talk to.
Oh, let us die in peace. Bloody
No.
weather.
This one. Merchant, here we go.
Okay. Show me what you're willing to sell.
He's got a book, which we haven't read. Lara Doran and Cregennan of Lod. Okay. Aiden Death. 248. And some random items. Nothing special there.
A veil.
Okay, let's go and check this place out.
Had to be sooner or later.
Go, go.
And a cat.
Oh, you're fucked. Get him! Come on! Gods! Gonna kill you!
Okay. Where shall we go next? Scavenger hunts. Further down here. Scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunt. It's not in town, is it? Where's Perch? Scavenger gear. Let's go scavenger hunt. Let's go there.
Hey, ya.
Crossroads marker. Oh.
What's the matter?
Woodland spook done took me mare the other night, and there I were, so content the war had spared her.
A woodland spook?
Aye, as me forefathers told it. Comes at midnight, sprinkles blood on your threshold so as none'll wake, then it steals. Would you search out me mare for me? Chat with the wood dweller, perchance he'll give her back.
Horses disappear around here often?
Nay, sir. Not many horses at all these days. Soldiers took all that didn't die. But me neighbour had a steed. Then 2 nights passed, whoosh! Spook took him. Times passed. 'Twere maybe a cow getting milked at night or a hen nipped here or there. But now,
Interesting.
Sure.
How much will you give me if I find your horse?
give ye a 5th of vodka. Sound all right?
It'd sound fine if you changed that 5th to 5, then added jugs at the end, then offered me the equivalent in crowns.
Well, fine. Have it your way. Just bring her back. She's a grey mare, mind you. None too large.
Even spooks leave tracks. Let me look around, see if I can find some.
Where is this? Behind.
This way.
Is that guy shouting out?
No closer. Nothing here for you, Vatgern.
Need that many horses? Your light brigade planning to charge straight into Radovid's camp?
We need them to transport the wounded.
Uh-huh. Local peasants must have charged you a bundle for them.
If we could afford to purchase horses, we would not be starving.
Gotta take one of the horses back to its owner.
You sound certain, but should you be? What now? Will you kill what remains of our unit for one old nag?
You'll give it to me, willingly.
Take one horse? That I'll allow. If you've a contract on our lives, you need only wait. We shall die on our own soon. Hey!
What's
Go,
up, mate?
go.
Is the one? I think it is.
Slower. Go, go.
What say you, sir?
This your mare?
Nay, not at all. She were grey, I told you, and twice as old, legs as crooked as me dead wife's. Suppose I got to pay you more for this young'un, but oh well.
Thanks. So long.
Okay. Well, what's going on here? Okay, up to there.
Whoa!
Road goes off that direction. I'm going to check out this area here.
Move it!
So what we'll do, we'll put a marker on it.
Come on now.
We'll go directly towards there. Oh, what is this? I'm gonna get these dogs off first.
Not good.
Bomb.
Slow now.
Woven. 2. Entrance. Oh, wow. Didn't expect that. Okay, let's try over here. Better. Okay. An illusion here. Oh no, it's not. Professor Sigmund Clogger's notes. Feline silver sword. Excavations to be carried out by Gottfried Oss, Michelle Sabrina Ruxa and Marco Geld under the supervision of Professor Sigismund Clogger. We have begun excavation work under the aegis of the Oxenford Academy and with kind sponsorship from Prince Adrian of the Sea Cats. Our goal is to find the legendary treasure of King Malglor of East Tayar. 8th of Blath, first day of excavations. I am deeply worried about the Witcher present among our company. I had a bad feeling about him at the very start, during the first meeting at Castle Drahim. Now, as we trek down underground caverns, his presence gives me shivers. Are we entirely sure his task is to protect our expedition? Furthermore, Castle Drahem is too close to Oxenfurt for us to have heard those unsettling rumours about Prince Adrian. Illegible fragment. 11th of Blath, third day of excavations. Cayenne demanded we surrender all notes found in the ruins and of the Elven armory. I refused. 13th of Blath, fifth day of excavations. We pitched camp in the vast and dry cavern of the easterly portion of the complex. There are a few active portals here. I'm afraid they are very likely unstable and unidirectional. 14th of Blath, sixth day of excavations. The Witcher murdered Marco. He was deciphering one of the priceless elven sketches when suddenly, as I watched on aghast, the Witcher slit his throat and grabbed his incunabulum. I panicked and jumped into one of the portals. It deposited me in some chamber which has no exit. Unless the echo of the portal appears, I am stuck here for good. I hope Michelle and Gottfried managed to escape. Remainder of the notes difficult to decipher and no dates are indicated. I must conclude the Witcher had from the very start been operating on Prince Adrian's orders. I would not be surprised if they were toasting their scheme's success Drahem Castle at this very moment. Blast it, perhaps I should have given those Elven diagrams to Cayenne after all. What good are they to me here if I'm to rot in this crypt? I finished the last drops of my water. There is nothing to eat. No echo from the portal has appeared. Gods, I don't believe in you, but if you do in fact exist, if you exist, save me. The Horse Whistler. Breaking in a horse's psyche is a simple matter of instilling your will as the rider into your mount, acquiring its trust and training its obedience. Horses are intelligent, noble beasts, so they should be treated with tenderness and a decisive and firm energy. Maya, the unquestioned authority in this area, emphasizes that when training one's mount, a rider must internally on the lookout for errors in the training itself. Every time the training process ends in failure, the rider must look for the blocking error first of all in his own actions, second in the horse's anatomy, and only in the last resort by concluding that the horse has a natural difficult temperament. Adhering to this principle protects one from undue punishments, which destroy the possibility of reaching an understanding between rider and mount, and make it impossible to gain the animal's trust. Okay, we'll read the rest later. So what do we got down here? Portal. We can't go in. Nothing else there I can see. And we can't get through here. Okay, so there is a interesting place there. Let's take note of that. Lawrence. New marker. There's a place up here. We should probably check that out. The marker on it.
Let's go!
Treasure. Ooh. Puppies. Serenia. Wow, that was hard. Vic Watchtower. Let's see these guys off first.
Stench.
Oof. We should have better bombs than this. Blocks magic monster abilities, block survive short timer spates. Grape shot. Yep. That doesn't work. Hey, there we go. They're quite difficult, those ones. What do we got here? Nicholas Vogel's laboratory notebook, chest key, and assortment of items. Fragment of Nicholas Vogel's laboratory notebook. I've acquired the eggs. They cost a fortune and left me with barely enough funds to pay the rent for my laboratory. But now I can begin my work in earnest. I'll soon show those pea-brain admirals of ours that airborne armies are the future of warfare, and the first such army shall be my creation, and shall proudly bear the name of the Redanian Air Force. They've hatched. Never seen harpies so tiny, and dare I say cute. They have no bosoms yet, but do have enormous heads and equally enormous appetites, bird-like through and through. My first attempts at taming them have brought promising results. The young harpies eat out of our hands, and sometimes eat our hands as well. My assistant's already lost 2 fingers. The alderman of Hindhold came skittering into our tower, desperately bawling about spiders plaguing his village, begging for our help, weeping for their picked upon livestock and offspring, who suffer the most from the arachnoids' bites. One swarm of mindless eating machines preying on another. How dare he interrupt my work on the Wunderwaffe for such banalities? Instead of the arachnocide he requested, I gave him a bottle of arachnomorph pheromones. Won't he be in for a surprise? But do the peasants not say spiders and snakes a happy home make? I'm sure I've heard them say something of the sort. Our funds are nearly exhausted. I shall be forced to take something from the rainy day stash I hid from Hubert in the top floor of the tower. The bulk of our outflow goes towards the purchase of pork, which the harpies devour in gargantuan quantities. Perhaps if we were to dress one up in a Redanian armour now, present it at court, the king himself would become our patron. No, the entire squadron must be present, else Radovid will deem the whole undertaking a farce. It seems our harpies have grown tired of pork. I found the scraps of Hubert's overalls in one of their cages. No great loss. Hubert had already lost 8 fingers feeding them, couldn't even grip a broom. Catastrophe has struck. Someone opened all the cages and let out the harpies. I'm sure I'll find them wheezing their last in the grass outside the tower. After all, no one has fed them for a week. Okay. The Royal Air Force. So we've got the loot. Dead bodies. Ron Drump's account book. Mainly consists of calculations and notes concerning the management of the real estate in Oxford, Novigrad and the surrounding region, with comments scrawled in the spaces between entries. A man named Nicholas Vogel showed up at our office, introduced himself as a biologist. Fellow made a bad impression on me from the start. Short, thin, with a hunchback. Spectacles thick as wine bottles perched on his nose. Had to grin and bear it, though, for he was willing to pay generously and in species to rent the tower. First 3 months delivered in advance, the owner agreed. So what could I do? But I was curious about the biologist. I wanted to learn what he wanted a whole tower for. He was cagey at first, then let slip, giddy with excitement, that he planned to rear harpies. You don't rear harpies, I cried, but he retorted that he'd soon change that and his tame tower-bred harpies would prove their use in warfare. Sure, I can see it already. Winged vermin donning the Redanian red, flying off in a row. I swear, if I've ever heard a bigger load of rubbish, my name ain't Ron Drump. A few pages have been ripped out and pecked. Vogel's late with the rent, paid the first 3 months up front, and since not a peep, he's going to force me to get off my ass and go hound him for it. At the tower now, and not a trace of harpy to be found. The learned gent's here though. Thing is, he's dead. Something vicious sliced open his gut and dragged his innards all over the room. And that's not the worst part. In the workshop's back room, there's an open cellar filled with half-eaten human corpses. The stank of death's unbearably strong, fills the whole tower. Don't give a rat's ass anymore about the rent he owes. I'm getting the blazes out of here before something gets me too. I didn't seem to make it too far. Laboratory ruins. Seem to find anything here. Trousers, Runestone. Uh-oh. Okay.
Slower.
Oh, the Vagabond residence. This is where we went. I see, okay. Aha,
Not so fast, Roach.
the racetrack. Noticeboard up here.
Whoa there, Roach.
Alness.
Not so fast, Roach.
Nilfgaardian lessons. Don't understand what you've just read. No wonder it's in Nilfgaardian, and soon half the world will be speaking this mysterious tongue. So you best start learning now. And yours truly can help you with that for a very modest fee. Ernst van Volkovero. Sausage meat for sale. My ass had 2 troughs to choose from, one full of oats, the other for straw. But the stubborn bastard still died of hunger. Body's fresh, fit for making sausage. Any butcher in need of such, come to the village and ask for Kobe. Gardener wanted. Looking for an experienced gardener to work on transitioning my park's design from the Temerian styles in Nilfgaardia. Interesting. Seeking merchants for partnership. My family's recently entered the cheese-making trade. I need vendors who can promise to buy milk quantities of my goods. Note that my cheeses will delight even the most refined of Novigrad palates. Larenk Walek. Will work for food. I fled here from Balin, haven't gotten anything to eat, will do anything at all that'll earn me a bowl of something hot, even if it's porridge. Matron pleaser. I'll satisfy any woman of mature years, no matter your age, race or appearance, whether it's a toss in the hay or a witty conversation you're hankering, I'll deliver. Ladies interested in my company can leave a note with their address on this notice board. If a strapping young lad named Odrin comes knocking, that's me. Odrin. That sounds familiar. Doesn't seem to be anything going on here. Oh, there's a few different locations. No, think we're going to go there. While we're here, we have a notice board. Let's try and get back to civilization a bit. 7 cats in. Search the Lord's Castle. Yeah, that's the castle we passed on the way into Novigrad. Let's go to Crow's Perch. Let's see what's happened. See if anything has changed.
Have you drove off all the monsters then?
That's charged. Where's the coin?
Ever heard of preventive?
Where's your gold? You can tell us willingly, or...
No, please. We've none left. Sir, help us.
Stay out of this.
Leave them alone.
What's it to you?
Won't stand by and watch you rob and murder them. Plain refuse to.
Got a sensitive one? Look away, woman. Still here? Oi! Get him! Fucking shit! All together!
Shut up and fight.
So can I break down his shield with a strong attack? Yep.
Thank you, sir. I don't know who you are, but thank you.
Midges responsible for keeping us down, sir. We're simple folk who seek no quarrel.
Faster. Take it easy.
Aha. Yeah, we found that.
assist you?
Wouldn't mind a look at your stock.
Okay, he's got 1,200 gold crowns now. So we should be able to. Oh. $147. Into repair, equipped.
So long.
Okay. Ah, that's the armor in the water. Steel sword, chest armor diagram. Silver sword. Boots diagram. Noticeboard up there, but that's should probably stay away from those areas. Up there, it's got quite the levels quite high. We can go Fyke Isle and just swim down and get those.
What did I do to deserve your people? Folk don't object to your white mud.
Okay, where is it? Oh, it's on an island. We can kill these, I suppose.
Damn, you're ugly. Okay, which direction do we need to go? Go left.
Where these guys come from? Note to self, small isle with ruins or a bridge built of red brick. That's the spot. Traces of a camp left on the isle. We'll need to dive down among the submerged ruins. Chest visible among them. Sunken Chest. More guys around here. Let's put our drowner pheromones on. Uh-oh. Oh, there's more. got Deathwind. Interesting. Where should we go? Let's put. There was a marker. A harbour. Fishlow is right here. What can we do? So many places we still have to visit. That place there, that's the boots diagrams. Yeah, let's go to here.
Ugly bastard.
It's a big bear. Hindhold. Dragon. Burn only a few pages. Okay, yep. Monster nest.
harpies got their nest here.
Oof. Oh, what have we done? We got ourselves stuck. Six letter, legendary Griffin Steel Sword. May the gods smile upon you and me, sis. Now I'm asking you to read this carefully, for what I've got to say is important. Soon as you set your hands on this writing, gallop off to the fence. Kramer was what's based in Maribor. Telling me we've got some first class gear and witcher swords diagrams to sell, eh? I can see you now, scratching your head, or more like your ass, and asking, did I hear that right? You sure did. 'Twas my luck to come to care for a witcher that got a foot in the grave one foot in the grave and the other hovering right above it. I was sat there looking at the poor man suffer in agony and thought to myself, he don't need his kit and these papers where he's going. While for us, that's the fixings we need to get started in this world of business. If we sell them for the right price that is, I hear you fretting, so stop. I didn't take everything. In fact, nobody will realise aught of his stuff's missing. Sad though, ain't it? The witch is a good man. For first he helped the baronet solve the riddle of the lighthouse that was sending ships to the rocks, then killed the dragon. I thought I'd already done all this. Maybe not. Lots of scavenger hunts. Let's have a quick check. So we need to go to Skellige next. That's for the things there. We need to meet Sultan at the Kingfisher. That's the Heart of Stone expansion quest. Collect them all, yep. Following the thread, go to Pharaoh and look for Hammond. Yep. Oh, yep, that's on Skellige, I think. That's Skellige. Find the scribe, yep. Witcher contracts. We've got to travel to the Haunted Mansion. And we still have heaps of diagram quests to go as well. Okay, let's check the book. Where is our book? There it is. So we need, there's 6 more cards in Valent, 11 in Novigrad, 22 in Skellige Isles, 1 in Kaer Morhen. Number of new cards which can still be won from players in no particular round or skill, 20. Okay, so I've got 20 more cards, base cards to earn, and there's still 6 more in Valen. That's interesting. Novigrad has 11, Skellige Isles has 22, Kaer Morhen has 1. Sounds good. Okay, so I think that we'll leave that there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.